Welcome back, everyone. Today being 28th of May 2025, Mazi Nnamdi KANU was in the court again to continue his trial. So without wasting your time, let's quickly see what happened today in the court. So the court proceedings commence with the introduction of the further witnesses, and the prosecution announces appearance as the defendants announces appearance too, led by KANU Agabi San. Both parties affirmed readiness for the business of the day. Cross-examination of the prosecution's third witness. Third witness PW3, shielded and known as Mr. CCC, is being led in oath. Mr. CCC says he is a DSS operative for 27 years, says he knows Mazi Nnamdi KANU as the leader of IPOB. PW3 CCC says he knew Mazi Nnamdi KANU since 2015. So here is the transcription of examination proceedings. Witness PW3 CCC. The prosecution now asks the witness, "Can you please tell the court who you are and if you know the defendant?" Witness: "I work with the SSS. I have worked for 27 years and I know the defendant. He is the leader and the founder of IPOB, a terrorist organization. He founded Radio Biafra. He used to invite violence to the public. My first encounter with him was in 2015 when I was asked to interrogate him after his arrest. I invited him with the 3 other officers for interview, and I told him his interview was going to be recorded, and he agreed. He agreed to be recorded and also wrote down a statement himself. The interview was conducted on October 21st, and the written interview was on 23rd October, both in 2015. The prosecution presents the video interview and the written statement of the defendant to the witness for the identification. The witness has confirmed the both." So the prosecution now asks the witness again, "You also told the court the defendant made written statement, right?" Witness: "Yes, my lord." Now the prosecution takes permission to show the defendant the written statement obtained in 2015. Written statement is shown to the defendant, Mazi Nnamdi KANU. So now the defense counsel interjects and he said, "My client says that he said the written statement under duress." Now the judge now asks the defense, "You mean the 3 statements were made under duress? Can you prove it? Otherwise, I am going to order trial within trial. You have to prove it in a specific that your client made the statement voluntarily under duress." Subsequently, the judge has asked the defendant to give elements of involuntariness to the written statement, asked that the defendant be given a sheet of paper to write them down. Now, Paul Erokoro San, one of Mazi Nnamdi KANU's lawyers, read the defendant's involuntariness statement. "I asked for my lawyer and the DSS refused. It wasn't the gentleman in the dock that interviewed me. It was one Mr. Brown. I was in dungeon and was allowed 1 hour of airtime, but Mr. Brown threatened that if I did not write down what they wanted, that the 1 hour airtime would be taken away from me. I was forced by the DSS agent to write down some words against my will, and I was bleeding from the nose at the time." Now the judge asked the prosecution, "What do you have to say about the said involuntariness?" Now the prosecution said, "He was not beaten to make these statements." Now the prosecution now asked the witness, "You also told the court that defendant made the written statement?" The witness: "Yes, my lord." Judge orders trial within trial to determine whether or not the statement made by the defendant was not under duress. And for some of us who do not understand what is a trial within trial, is a legal proceeding used in criminal trials, particularly in jurisdiction like Nigeria, where a confessional statement, a statement made by the accused admitting to a crime, is tendered as evidence. It is essentially a mini trial within the main trial, designed to specifically determine whether the confessional statement was made voluntarily or involuntarily. So now the prosecution now agree with the trial within trial, and he said that the same witness, PW3CCC, is their witness for the separate trial, right? So judge now said this witness shall be called PW1 TAA. So the prosecution now asked the witness, who is now Mr. TAA, how do you know the defendant? TAA, he is the leader of IPOB. Prosecution, do you know Mr. Brown? Witness, I am not sure. I interviewed the defendant with my two colleagues, namely James Ibrahim and their colleagues. There was no Mr. Brown with us. Now, the prosecution asked the witness again, did the defendant at any time make any request to you before his statement was taken? Witness, he did not make any request. He only said he wanted to rest. Prosecution, do he make any request for his lawyer? Witness, I am not aware, but he didn't ask me for his lawyer. Prosecution, he said that he was put in solitary confinement. Witness, I am not aware of that. If you watch the video, you will see a table water was even placed before him, not a sachet water. So I am surprised he is saying this. Prosecution, did he tell you about his ill health? Witness, I'm not a medical doctor, so I didn't know if he was sick, but he didn't mention he was sick to me. Prosecution, he said you put words in his mouth. Witness, it is not true. He said everything voluntarily and happily. Prosecution, he said you told him some things to write about President Jonathan. Witness, it is not true, my lord. We can play the video. Prosecution, my lord, may we play the video? Judge, no, we have not reached that stage. This is a trial within trial. So after the short break, they now play the first video. This is a transcription of the defendant's interview in 2015. So now the video is playing and Mazi Nnamdi to his interviewer, you people are the custodians of the law, yet you are the ones breaking the law. This is the third time I am making a statement without my lawyer. Oh my God. My people, I hope you guys are hearing what Mazi Nnamdi is saying in this particular interview. Remember that they denied that Mazi Nnamdi did not ask for his lawyer. Oh, wonder shall never end. Then Mazi Nnamdi continues. The law says, I am entitled to a lawyer, but you have consistently denied me one. Record me, let the whole world hear it that I am making yet another statement without my lawyer. Like these people brought evidence like against themselves. Can you just imagine? It's like they did not even watch this video before they played it in the court. Oh my God. Let's continue, my people. Even if you point a gun at me, I will still say the truth. I was the first person to organize a rally against Boko Haram in London in 2007. You have denied me access to my lawyer. You are no more a law enforcement agent, but you are a lawbreaker. Chai! My people, this is bombshell. Ohamadike! He said that he's going to use only truth to destroy Nigeria, and this is exactly what is happening. My people, it is really getting interesting. So the first video has ended and the next video is about to play. Right now the video is playing, and then the interviewer asked Mazi Nnamdi, how are you? Mazi Nnamdi said, I am not fine. My people, recall that this witness said that Mazi Nnamdi granted that particular interview voluntarily and happily. And right now, Mazi Nnamdi is saying that he's not fine. Interesting days ahead, right? So the interviewer now asked Mazi Nnamdi, what is IPOB? Then Mazi Nnamdi explained what is IPOB, right? And the interviewer asked him again, what is the duty of IPOB? Mazi Nnamdi explained, and Mazi Nnamdi mentioned the Biafra territory and the states involved, and mentioned that no state is under compulsion to join IPOB. Now the judge has asked that the video be fast forwarded to save time so that the third video will be played. Meanwhile, the judge said, I heard him mentioning repeatedly that his lawyer wasn't there, that he needed to speak with his lawyer. So I will look into that alongside the involuntariness. So the third and the fourth video of Mazi Nnamdi interview with DSS have ended, and now the cross-examination of trial within trial begins. So now defense from Mazi Nnamdi, who is Paul Eroko-Rosan, now asked the witness, I observed throughout the videos played, none of the interviewers showed their faces. Why? Witness, we are protected by the law. Defense, did you introduce yourself to the defendant before the interview? Did you tell him your real name? Witness: yes, I mentioned my name. Defense: do you know the names of the everyone working in your organization? Witness: no. Defense: did you ever enter the cell or where the defendant was confined? Witness: I did not really get what the question. Defense: do you have underground cell in your facility? Witness: I am not aware of that. Defense: are you aware that so many people detained in your custody have announced that they were kept in underground cell? Witness: I am just hearing that. Defense: did you hear when Sowore said he was detained in an underground cell? Witness: anybody can say anything to whip up public sympathy. Defense: are you aware the defendant was held in an underground cell? Witness: I am not aware. It cannot be true. Defense: did you notice your people were forcing the defendant on what to write? Witness: nobody was forcing him. We were just trying to guide him. Defense: did you observe he wore same clothes every day for interview? Witness: yes. Defense: did you notice how excited he was when he was asked for water? Witness: I did not notice. Defense: did you know someone called Mr. Brown threatening him? Witness: I did not know about that. So now the cross-examination of trial within trial has ended, and the judge has given the defense team and the defendant some time to have a tete-a-tete, which means private discussion, one-on-one discussion with Mazi Nnamdi KANU. So now the break is over and the court has resumed, and Mazi Nnamdi KANU was called in as a witness. And Mazi Nnamdi KANU's defense now asks him, if I have a letter to deliver to you, where would it be? Mazi Nnamdi KANU: DSS dungeon. Defense: how long have you been in DSS? Mazi Nnamdi KANU: 6 years. Defense: you mentioned to the court you were under duress when you wrote the statement. Mazi Nnamdi KANU: yes. And Mazi Nnamdi KANU goes ahead to describe how he was tortured and brought to Abuja from Lagos blindfolded, and also mention how Mr. Brown threatening him unless he writes a statement as they wanted, that he, Mr. Brown, had the power to make sure he was jailed. And also he talks about how he was blindfolded and chained to be put in a flight by DSS as they wanted to bring him to Abuja in 2015. And also how he was put in an underground because they don't want him to be around someone. And he said that the lighting of the underground was dim. Chai, this man really suffered. Mazi Nnamdi KANU also talks about his nosebleed and how the blood was leaving a trail as he walked. Then the DSS noticed it and brought a doctor to him who mentioned that they should give him 1 hour airtime so he doesn't die. Mazi Nnamdi KANU also mentioned that the videos played were heavily edited, removing the part where the DSS officers who interviewed him were threatening him. Chai, my people, these people really humiliated Mazi Nnamdi KANU. Honestly, Mazi Nnamdi KANU is a very strong man. Despite everything that he went through and still going through, he's still standing strong. What a man. And also, Mazi Nnamdi KANU mentioned that he was repeatedly denied when he asked repeatedly, and at no point was a lawyer brought to him until he was transferred to Kuje prison in 2015. So now the cross-examination of Mazi Nnamdi KANU begins. So this is time for the prosecutor to ask Mazi Nnamdi KANU some questions. So the prosecutor asked Mazi Nnamdi KANU, was your detention approved by a court? Mazi Nnamdi KANU: no court approved my detention. Prosecutor: when you gave the DSS your name and the contact of your lawyers, did they come? Mazi Nnamdi KANU: they never asked for the names and the contact of my lawyers. So now the cross-examination of Mazi Nnamdi KANU has ended, and the court has adjourned to tomorrow, being 29th of May 2025, to continue his trial. So my people, that is it. That is exactly what happened today in the court concerning Mazi Nnamdi KANU's matter. Like, honestly, this matter is really getting interesting. Mazi Nnamdi KANU said that he only going to use truth to destroy Nigeria. Like, these people can lie for Africa. Like, they are there and they have their own evidence. Their evidence is even against them. What a country. What a country, my people. Anyway, tomorrow we are going to see how everything is going to go down. But before then, let me allow you guys to watch this particular video from one of Mazi Nnamdi lawyers, Maswell Okpara, what he has to say concerning the ongoing trial of Mazi Nnamdi. Take a look. Please do well to subscribe for more updates, share the video, and also give it a like so that YouTube will recommend it to other people to watch. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next update. Goodbye for now.
You had mentioned the limit to what you can say. Would you say, for example, Nnamdi Kanu, the build up to the situation where we have him facing legal proceedings now, and I'm taking you way back into the era of his broadcast, era of his dissemination of certain kind of information, which is classified as a breach of national security. Do you think it violated the rights of the country, a country like Nigeria, with the kind and choice of words he used in expressing his opinions, his views, and, well, one would say his rights?
Well, I may not go into that particular issue on the following reasons. One, I'm a member of the legal team. I'm not only a member of the legal team, I'm the oldest lawyer in this Nnamdi legal team. All the people that I started handling this matter since 2014, 15, they have all left. All the new lawyers there now, they met me there.
Why did they leave?
It's a choice. Either you live on your own or Nnamdi message, please excuse yourself. You're not giving me what I want. So I don't want to go into that. Now, secondly, the trial is ongoing. And in our ethics, once a matter is in court, you don't speak about it. But I must say, I doubt whether there is any part of Europe that I have not stepped in my leg. And not only stepping in my leg, I have interacted with most of them. I'm a member of International Bar Association Human Rights Committee. We travel almost every 2 months. And when you see what is happening in other nations and compare with what is happening in your own, you feel ashamed. Femidi, last year, November, we went to Mexico for IBA conference. And we are discussing about Human Rights Committee in my own section. So when you want to speak, you take mic, you introduce yourself. And fortunately for me, I was happy. The Fabemi SAN, the Attorney General, was there. The then MBA President, Mikel, was there. I think Tambua also was there. I have about some judges were there. Many judges, many SAN, they were there. So when I took on the mic and introduced myself, which country I mentioned Nigeria, you see reaction. You see how people are making jest of us. So I felt somehow as a Nigerian. I said, okay, I have to control myself. I asked my question. And I used that opportunity to ask IBA should help Nigerians. Can't we, as a body of lawyers in the whole world, formulate a policy, go to UN, go to everywhere? If you are in your own country, there is absolute absence of medical health, education, amenities, absence of human rights, you will be restricted from traveling out of your country. Or better still, all these countries, the Europe, the UK, the US, will stop giving you visa, especially medical tourism. Can't we do in that way? I was bold enough to mention the immediate past president and the current president, President Tinubu. I use them as a case study. I say, I can't see the reason why.
Do you mean about their medical leave?
Yes, because if you are a president and you are doing well, and you have a functional healthcare, as you let them to understand. If you are sick, you should. Have you seen Trump going outside America, coming to Nigeria to take medical treatment? No, but you go to France. So I presented it. Now, back to what we are talking about, so that I don't deviate. Human rights is one of the things that will project you. human rights is one as a country. If, let me just give Simon Eba.
Okay, that's a good example. I was going to go there.
As an instance, I went to Finland by March last year. I finished my program in Paris. I went to Finland. I went to understand their own judicial system. And I was made to understand that Finland is the only country in Europe that doesn't have bilateral agreement with any other country. What am I trying to say? So when they say that Finland are going to extradite Nnamdi Kanu, I look at them and laugh.
But Finland is part of EU, and I presume when you're part of a body, you're subject to some of the laws and regulations around that body.
That will not stop you from being a sovereign state. You are still a sovereign state. You know what is good for you. And as a matter of fact, international law is what I research on it in my PhD.
Okay, but I still want you to finish your point about Finland and their laws and why they will not extradite Simon Ekpa.
So that's where I'm coming. So in the course of my research during my PhD, I discovered that extradition is a very serious law. And one of the things they consider, you are a number one Boko Haram known in Nigeria. You have destroyed life. You have destroyed property. Now you have run into a particular country. Let me just use Kenya as an instance. And you are caught there as a fugitive. The extradition law said Kenya people will now apply, the country, assuming that we're in Nigeria, you apply to Kenya, telling them that this particular person, Mr. A, is a terrorist. We are looking for him. Now, Kenya the law said upon receiving your application,
Request, yes,
they will arrest the fugitive. And they took the fugitive to their own court, that with jurisdiction. Example, if it's Nigeria Federal High Court. Now you attach the investigation report in that application. You attach the charge you have prepared for the person. You attach everything, evidence.
But if that is the scenario, I'm just thinking of Interpol also being involved.
I'm yes. So they're working together. Because remember that it's Interpol that will still come and pick the person. So when you now attach all these documents, the law said, extradition law said, upon seeing all these things with your evidence, they will now approach court. The court will now ask the person, fair hearing, you committed this offense. Tell us the reason why we should not take you to your country, or to the country in question, for you to go and face a trial. After hearing from you, the next step is, one, to check that country whether there is human rights there. I thank God that you brought in this issue, and I believe that our leaders will hear it. They will check the level of human rights there. If you are the country that observe human rights, that one is one. Then they will not check whether your life will be protected there. After checking that your life will be protected, they will not check whether you have justice there.
So what if in a scenario, and I'm following you carefully,
yes,
when it comes to procedure,
yes,
and the procedure is on one part, yes, and there's also the contingency of if such a person, even when there are procedures around what they can do or whether they're fugitive or not, if such a person still continues to embark on, let's say, a call to action, a certain level of call to action, where what is being accused of...
Remember
yes,
that the person is already in the custody in that country.
Yes, but has not hesitated to possibly continue to disseminate his call to action through his disciples, if I would say.
No, that one is a different ballgame.
Why is it different?
The different ballgame is that the person is, you said, you want to extradite him to the country. That is the issue. We are talking about, I want to link it up to tell you the reason why human rights, because we are talking about human rights. I'm just giving you implications why you should ensure that you observe human rights in your country. I wish that I have time. So that it's good that when this kind of program, especially human rights, you let people understand. I'm still at the international level. I've not come to the domestic level. Why I'm talking about this international level is that it's the one that affects I and you. It's not enough for you to go and convince somebody to come, a foreign investor, to come and invest in your country. There are some things that they will check, especially human rights, rule of law. So after all these things, the law said, having checked this thing, if they discover that there is no human right in your country, that country will not check whether they have the same law with that country, especially Kenya, using Kenya, Nigeria, whether that terrorism offense which you have sent, that there is evidence, whether Kenya can try it. So if Kenya can try it, the law said try him in Kenya.
So let me understand a little bit more. And I'm trying to understand perspective. And I do know, for example, Simon Ekpa's case with Finland. I don't know if it's a case, but it's of interest to organizations around the world. Both some of the UN organizations and every of the other bodies. And I can imagine that if that was done against Finland, certain statements about what needs to be done, right, against Finland as a country, will they sit and be quiet about it? And then it brings forward the question about, what about in good faith? If peradventure, I mean, there are cases such as Julian Assange, right? Leaked cases, he has human rights, he stays in an embassy. I don't even know which embassy he is now, but it's of interest that when you do disseminate information, whether true or not true, or you have statements that have strong implications to national security of another country, there should be response from the host country. Don't you think so?
And Femidi, we are talking about law. We're talking about the rule of law. Femidi, do you know that if we go out here and go for bid, we saw armed robbers killing people alive. The judge saw the armed robbers kill the person with the AK-47. The Attorney General saw it. The Nigerian Bar Association saw it. Everybody witnessed it. Evidence are there. The law said the procedure must be followed. You must get him arrested. That's what we are talking about law. You must get him arrested. Not only getting him arrested, you must subject him to investigation. Police will investigate him. He will write a statement. After writing statement, he will bring his own lawyer to give him fair hearing. After giving him fair hearing, you arraign him in that court. Remember that the judge, when he was going to work, witness everything.
Yes.
The judge will allow prosecution to prove his case. Femidi, do you know that when you go to court and the man said, guilty or not guilty, I'm guilty, convict me. The law said, judge, you cannot convict. Prosecution, prove your case. I don't know whether you're getting what I'm saying.
I do follow you.
The law will say, prosecution, prove your case. And if you charge him for armed robbery and murder, and there is 4 elements for you to prove murder, there's 4 elements for you to prove armed robbery. If you prove 3.5, if you do not prove the other half, you'll be set free. Remember that he has accepted, he has pleaded guilty. Court will say, prove your case. And where he failed to prove all those elements, court will change that he's guilty to no guilty.
So despite the fact that the person on trial says, I am guilty,
you prove it.
The prosecution has to prove it.
You must prove it.
And if they can't prove it completely, the judge will rule against it.
We convert that he's guilty to non-guilty and discharge him.
It brings me forward to the question of some of the arrests in the country as we have it going on, including Nnamdi KANU, which you one of the
do you know why I'm giving you this instance?
Yes.
Do you know why I don't want to bring Nnamdi KANU's own? Because it's on trial. But I'm giving you a scenario that is related to that.
Oh yes, I understand the scenario game, and I do believe the others are following through.
So people want Simon Ekpa to come down here and face his trial. That's what people. That's majority. That is the question. Now, tell me the reason why Finland refused. The woman who was the ambassador of Finland that time, when they met him, he said Nigeria should do their own. Nigeria should, nobody is happy. I'm living in Nigeria here as an ambassador of a Finnish government to this place. But Nigeria should do their own. What is their own? The first time they took Nnamdi Kanu to court in their own, Nnamdi Kanu brought only 2 judgments. Look at the 2 judgments. Court ordered that Simon Ekpa brought the 2 judgments. Only 2 judgments. Show the court. Look at the 2 judgments given by the court in Nigeria, asking that they should release Nnamdi Kanu. They refuse. So, this and the country that are civilized, and that is what is making me to be.
So there's a mountain of evidence, and this evidence, and I do say, because I'm just following through with some of, and I know it's an ongoing case, so there's a limit to how we could put perspective to it.
Yes.
But for the purpose of understanding how things are so far, last week it was about the fact that, he said certain words during the broadcast. And I just want to talk about the broadcast because now the broadcast is being brought into court. But let's talk about the broadcast, which is the Radio Biafra and all those kind of conversations that were held. And I'm taking, because it's a case, the federal government versus Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
But I'm just thinking about Nigerians. Now, Nnamdi Kanu's perspective on Nigerians, Nnamdi's perspective on the concept of the Southeast Bloc pretty much standing in its own, and his method of administering what some of his followers should do. And this is completely out of the court case because it's a federal government versus that. So we're treating about Nnamdi Kanu, Nigerians, and his method of saying do this, do that.
We are still talking about the same thing. This is our own country. My friend, I think I left here last night. I left here around after 11 December in this hotel there. My friend came in from Canada and he's traveling tomorrow. He said that I must come today. And that night, I said, today I won't have, he said I should come. He said I should come to Canada. I said I will be in Canada. We are having IBA in Toronto. I will be there. But I won't spend more than 2 weeks. The point I'm trying to make is that when I'm traveling outside, my body will be telling me that, Maso, you don't belong here. Their weather, their food, their language will be, my body will tell me, especially those of us that are born and brought up in the village. So this is our country. And when you see most of us fighting like this, want to get here right, I can't leave another place. I don't know how to manage. What we are talking about is that, Femidi, when you have a good case and they channel it from a very wrong angle, Femidi will lose it. Femidi, that is your handset there. If I collect that handset now and running and they're pursuing me, you use something and hit me, I fall. And something happened to me. Nobody will talk about this handset again.
But typically.
You know what I'm saying? Don't channel your case from a very wrong angle.
So are you saying...
And don't put yourself in a situation whereby you will not be trusted.
So are you implying, and I still want to go back to...
Yes, I'm coming. Now, in law, criminal law, there's what we call artificials and menstrual. Menstrual is the intention of committing the act. Your intention of
premeditated murder.
Yes, you committing the act. Artificials is the act of committing that act. Let me just give you this instance. Though you people will pay me for this criminal law.
Oh, yes, we'll take the lectures.
When I take this handset now,
okay,
and be moving out.
That one is the phone, not my glasses. That's what will be a challenge.
Yes. Now, they say, where is my handset? They say, no, the only person that I saw in this city is Maxwell. You saw me outside. You act there, you look for the handset, you did not see. Finally, they caught me and searched me and saw the handset. Remember that? You people started beating me. What court is looking at? Can you tell me? Why did you take this handset? That's the only thing court is interested. That's the only thing police is interested. I know that it's not my own. I collected the handset to call my wife, to tell my wife that my handset is
But that's speculative in law.
Excuse me. I heard them saying. Remember that is my statement.
Yes.
That's my statement. That's my defense. Now, Femidi said it's not true.
I'm saying it's speculative.
I heard them saying, you said it's not true. Did you tell me? The question, you asked me, did you ask me for the handset? I did not ask you. Then court is investigating whether it is true. If court was able to establish that, if I was able to prove that I took this handset to make call and return it, there is no intention of stealing. There is no intention of stealing. Now, what am I trying to say? When you make a comment, if this cameraman touch me, I go kill him here. I will kill him here. In fact, your days are numbered. You do listen to me? Your days are numbered. If you last the whole of today, call me bastard. Remember that is a statement you made. And the person died. The person moved and died. Who he had last encounter? This person said, you know what I'm saying? Remember that he has made a comment. They cannot convict the person because of making that comment. The question there is that, why did he say such a thing? Probably this man tried to rape the wife. And they caught him. So he now make all those statements. Court is interested in intention of you making that statement.
So what would be, and I understand what you're saying,
yeah,
the intention of statements, which makes sense, but I'm just wondering what would be the intention of somebody like Nnamdi Kanu when he speaks about people should sit at home and do pretty much little or no work.
For what?
For what would be the intention?
Oh, that is what I'm saying now. Anyway, just like I thank God those evidence now are in public domain. We can now people can assess it. And the evidence are there. He made his comment. What did they establish? ESN. The SSS tendered their evidence, including the question. They asked him all this question. You made this statement, and fortunately, all this statement he made, anyone he made, he told you the reason. Anyone he made, tell you the reason. Anyway, I'm saying so.
In which he said yes, for example, to a few of them.
Of course, when you said, if you see any police officer, kill. Police officers are established to protect life and property. Police stations are established to protect life and property. Any police officer you see that is using the gun government give him to kill innocent citizens, don't allow them to kill you first. Collect it and kill them first. Any police station you see that they are there killing innocent persons, burn it down.
That means he's made himself a judge of what you do.
We are still talking about the same thing. Now, the question there is that, what is their intention of saying that? The question, has there been extrajudicial killing that made you to say such a thing? The question there is that, when you see any army that is trying to kill you, was there anything? Is there Operation Python Dance? Was there people, about 38 persons, killed for no just for something made somebody to say something? You establish ESN. What's the meaning of ESN? Eastern Security Network. And their agenda, their mode, their whatever thing, the intention of establishing them, you explain it. It is not Biafran army, as most of you explain. This is something the Southeast governor is supposed to establish, as Akere Dolo has done in the Ondo. Since they are not doing it, we cannot fold our hands saying that we are looking for Biafra, and the people that we say that we are fighting for are dying. We have to establish it, and we are taking the law, we are taking a bill to the various state house of assembly, believing that they will enact it. But their own is to go to the bush. And then also one, people were killed, raped, women cannot go to farm.
So just like you said, I mean, those are some of the things in public domain.
Yes.
And there's debates about how it was done, why it was done, who commanded it to be done.
Yes.
But it's the part about the human rights of people in, for example, in the Southeast, when they do say, we want to go to market, we want to go to school, we want to do our daily biddings for a typical Monday. Do you think some of those statements that kind of instruct to say, if you see anybody moving on this our restricted day or on this assumed restricted day, that such a person should be dealt with? Do you think the human rights of those who wanted to move and then were dealt with was violated?
That is where violation of right comes in, which he never said. That's where his own is quite different from that of
You're saying he never asked for people who violate the sit-at-home order.
Sit at home. Sit at home. It's a voluntary decision. As I speak to you on Monday, some people go to market, some people don't go.
So when you do say it's voluntary, for those who are scared and for those who did not do what they wanted to do.
That's what I'm saying. Now, you see, when you believe in a cause, there are some people who are members of IPOB, disciples of Nnamdi Kanu, that believe that what he's doing is good and we need their support. And now, Nnamdi Kanu, just like as a person, cannot be everywhere. He lives in London. And he said, now that they have killed, like now, somebody issued press this the 30th of May. They are going to observe sit at home for those who died during the war and in the course of struggle. Now, and you see that this thing is for and against. Some people may not belong to believe in what Nnamdi Kanu is doing. That does not mean that he don't have supporters. But for me, what I'm trying to say is that a good government, for me, I don't know whether you have thought about this thing, that a non-state actor will give order. By omission or commission, people will obey. And you give counter order, nobody will obey. I don't know whether you're getting one.
Oh, yes, that's continued to be on top of my mind.
Yes.
That means it's quite influential, if I would say, the non-state actor.
Inflation is failure of leadership. Femidi, in your house, put bread geisha.
But some would also say it's a call to break law and order.
No, sir.
Why not?
It is a failure in the leadership. Who is in Nnamdi Kanu? Nnamdi Kanu just came. And an average Igbo man felt that he has lost. Nobody is speaking for us. As Nnamdi Kanu came, an Igbo man now
embraced him.
This one that is talking for us, let us support him. That is just it. My father used to, when he was alive, he said, we put evening mass because morning mass was not complete. If everybody come in that morning mass and we do so, there should be no reason for evening mass. And when you call yourself a governor, you say that when they release Nnamdi Kanu, you will have inflation. Ejife, when he was alive, they asked him in television, who is the leader of the Igbos? He said, Nnamdi Kanu for now is the leader of the Igbos. I'm not here to lie. They asked him why. He said that from Ikulobe, former governor of Anambra State. If I come at Ikulobe, you will not see 10 persons that will follow me. If I leave Ikulobe and go to Afadibeku, Nnamdi Kanu's matter, you will not see up to 10 persons that will follow me. But if Nnamdi Kanu leave Afadibeku and come to Ikulobe, Ikulobe will shut down. Who is a leader? Who is a leader? So the point I'm making is that when you are saying that somebody is issuing order from prison, from Finland, from London, and people are following, it's a complete failure. To an extent that police will tell you if you are coming out, they say, didn't you know that today is sit at home? A police officer, compliant, banks, schools,
and it could be out of fear.
That is what I'm saying, which means you are incapable.
So that means they fear the leadership of whoever is speaking. That's what that implies.
Which means that is non-state actor now. That's non-state actor.
Yes, they fear him enough to know that he could harm them.
Which means the non-state actor, you have subjected to the government of that non-state actor. You have subjected your government to him. If he will say yes, and the people will believe, and you say no, people will not believe you.
And should that be so? Because if a government were to, in quote now, and this is just simulating examples, to subject itself to the authority of a non-state actor, and this is just a statement, not a fact now, were to subject themselves to the authority of a non-state actor, one would then wonder about the fact that, is that not almost the same thing that what would we describe as terrorism, when you take over the territory, the authority, and all those kind of measures that a government normally takes on, and you take it on, is that not terrorism? Because I do know, for example, Nnamdi KANU is facing a 10 counts charge on terrorism and felony.
I have told you, I don't want us to be dragging into issue because this matter is in court. But I'm just giving you analysis.
Yes, I'm following you, and I'm trying to be educated.
I don't want to use.
So terrorism in this case would be what?
No, I don't want to go into that. This matter is in court, and as a lawyer, because I came here to talk about human rights.
Yes,
as a lawyer, I know why you are using this one. Try to balance it, and why I cannot go into deep. Well, that's why I'm using other instances.
Please share an instance that helps me understand terrorism in this case.
Now, terrorism is a crime with its own element of terrorism, how to prove. Remember that, let me just, so that I want to bring it down to people. If you see a woman now, you grab the woman, you tore his clothes, tore his bra, you know what I'm saying? You drag with her, you suppress her, you ejaculate in her laps, and you are arrested, and they prefer a charge of rape against you. Do you know that you are going out?
Yes.
Why?
Because the law does not, it speaks about rape there has to be some form of penetration.
Good. I don't know that you are even a professor of law. So, you know what I'm saying? Because you should have charged the person for indecent assault. You should have charged the person for violence against person, not rape. Because the main cardinal proof of rape is upon penetration. And when you now you draft the charge, you rape somebody, you file. Lucky enough, the girl is still a virgin. They want this everything. There was no penetration. The case has collapsed. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So one of the ingredients of rape is upon penetration. Then ingredients of terrorism is there in the law. You know what constitutes terrorism. I'm in my house. I made a call. Everybody in Owerena should go out and destroy government house, kill everybody, and people move. You say that I've committed terrorism. No, I don't want to go into that because terrorism has its own. Then two, when that person who made that comment is being arrested, the thing there is that what is the intention of making that statement? What even gave those people adults, right to go and carry out that act? There is an adage in my place. Somebody whose father sent to go and steal normally use leg to break door. Somebody whose father sent to steal, they use leg break the door because of what? My father sent me. I don't know whether you are.
I do follow you.
So now, when you made such a statement and the people obey, who are you? What is that you are doing that I'm not doing? I was a person that have the authority. You are not state actor. Nobody elected you as the governor of Abia State. And the governor of Abia State. You are not the president of Ahanes and Nibu. Where are you operating? A freedom fighter from nowhere. People are believing you. The government should have buried their head in shame and look at the issue. I wrote a memo. I told Buhari, do I know that government, they don't read papers, they don't read memo. I say, if you want to know the person that will help you in the South, it's Nnamdi Kanu. Work with him. Forget about all these people. Forget about red cap. Red cap is not 1,000 naira. I be there selling 2,000 naira to the market. It doesn't move. There are something that somebody will look at you and say, you are not my father, look at my father. You are a biological child. You say, I will disown you. You say, you are disowning me that have already disfathered you. We have some comedian. You can use it to make, I will disown you, yes, I will disfather you. So there is something that you are doing. What you should do is that you should go back to your house. Every day, 24 hours, your children are in your neighbor's room. Your children are in your neighbor's house. You have not asked yourself, what is that we are not doing well? That is the failure of leadership.
Okay.
Have you asked yourself, as we speak now, Attorney General said, hey, you fled on news the other day. People are calling me say, Finland, extraditing Nnamdi Kanu. Finland, extraditing Simon. You people are jokers in this country. What do you think you take Finland for? They are watching what is happening in Nigeria. They are watching. The Kenya people that brought Nnamdi Kanu, allowing Nnamdi Kanu to be kidnapped. Do you think that they are finding it funny? They are not finding it funny. I've been in Kenya. We're following the matter. It's not easy as you are seeing it. Because one, it has also affected their own country. It shows that nobody will enter your country and be safe. The due process must be followed. Don't you know when they arrested Igboho at the Benin Republic? Malami quickly sent the jet as he sent in that of Nnamdi Kanu. What did the Benin Republic do? Say no, they're not extraditing anybody. They kept him there because there is absence of rule of law in Nigeria. There is absence of fundamental rights here. There is
complete absence or just not practicing.
Anyway, when something is 80% is A. If you made an A in a subject, you are a guru in that subject. Your A may be 70, maybe 75, maybe 80, but it's on a majority. Because if a situation whereby, do you know why Trump contested the election? Trump contested the election because of one comment he made. And the judge saw reason with him. Trump said, when they brought the charge against him, he shouldn't have contested. Trump said, this charge was brought to deprive me the right to exercise my right of contesting. Somebody that, right, fundamental right. God said, yes, it's true. Has he not been sentenced? He has been sentenced. Yet he's the president exercising that right. And that is one of the things that is keeping America going today. So if we come in this country and somebody said anything, you say, go and shoot. Are we under military? When somebody says something, that's why. Have you forgotten that the Bawa and the Mefiele connived? When I said the worst corruption department you have in Nigeria is a legal department of CBN, I proved it. I attacked Bawa. You are not qualified to be the EFCC chairman.
Welcome to Shamra News TV.